Hey guys, this is Carla. I'm coming to you from Little Rock. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I forgot about this workshop I was coming to for Understanding by Design through my school. But I just wanted to go ahead and present you with my digital microscope, what I did my research on. So the digital microscope, first of all, some jargon. We talked about optics. It's a branch of physics involving the behavior and properties of light, and charge coupled device, CCD, a device for the movement of electrical charges. And I was going to try to explain that more to you guys so you could really understand how it works, but I read about it and it just was way over my head. So here's an illustration. And I'm not even going to pretend like I know how to explain that. But basically all you need to know that about a digital microscope is that it's a variation of your traditional optical microscope that uses optics and a charge coupled device camera to output a digital image onto a monitor. And sometimes those monitors are right there on the microscope itself, or they're connected to the computer so that you can see it on a big computer screen. There are usually no provisions for the sample to be viewed through an eyepiece, so it's not like you can look at it through an eyepiece and look at it through a microscope. It's not the same technology, is my understanding. There are two types of digital microscopes. There's a USB style where you just plug it into your USB port on your computer. So basically it's like a webcam with a high-powered micro lens, so you can zoom in pretty well. And then there's also the research digital microscope. And these are the kinds that are very expensive and only really nice labs have. But there is a difference between the stereo microscope, your typical, eyepiece microscope, and the digital microscope. And with the stereo microscope, we've all probably used it at least once, but you change the objectives in order to zoom in. And it can only be observed in real time. Each person actually has to look through the lens of the microscope in order to see it. So if you're trying to look at Protista or something like that, you're just hoping that it darts in front of your camera at the exact time that you're looking at it. So sometimes, when we're having lots of different students look at it, it can be very time consuming because each one is trying to see it, and then they might not end up seeing it at all. Another difference is that it can only zoom in typically 4 times, 10 times, and 40 times, while with the digital microscope, the sample is reproduced on the monitor, and the bigger the monitor, the more you can reproduce the sample. Also, these images can be saved, so if a teacher happens to be looking and finds a really awesome picture, she can share that with her students later instead of just hoping for good luck during the class time. Another great thing about digital microscopes is that they can zoom in 200 times to 7,000 times. So we're looking at very close range. Some uses is obviously you can make observations in labs. You can also observe textiles if you're in some kind of textile class. It's great for engineering, for examining circuit boards, identifying insects and plant diseases, so a botany class or something like that. And then also to check for quality of prints. So will your school pay for this? Possibly. It depends on what kind you get. More of a USB microscope, you could probably buy that, but your research microscopes that are in the tens of thousands of dollars, I don't think you're probably going to get just a typical high school or junior high to go for that. And as the price tag goes up, you basically pay for what you get, so you do get better resolution, image quality, and dynamic range the more you pay for it. But I did find this really awesome idea on Pinterest, and all you have to do is Pinterest, do it yourself, digital microscope, because I'd heard about this before. So it can get a pretty good zoom, and if everybody, kids are always looking for ways to use their phones, this might be a little complicated to make several of them on, but again, this is maybe even a project that you could do with your students. They could build these for cheap and get good image qualities. So I really enjoyed being in class with you guys this semester. Sorry I'm not there to answer any additional questions, but hopefully you got a pretty good gist of what a digital microscope is, and you guys can think of your own ways to use them. Thank you.